go until the World Championship of Drone Racing has its Split 1 finals at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. These teams all want to be there. We have 2 more matchups for you today. Welcome to the Drone Champions League. I'm Matt Andrews. Raiden Racing would love to go there as the number 1 seed. Matteo, Visemayans, IQ0 and Valprim are up against one of their old rivals today. It's the Chinese team of the China Dragons. Yep, Japan versus China. It's Ion, Gabri, Mojo and Creator Gamer. China Dragons find themselves in the middle of the leaderboard at the moment. Just above them are Cyclone Racing, the big new team from 2023. J-Box, the Ice Cheetah, Neon and Yayu have been in great form. They'll need to be as they're up against our current leaders, the Spain Drone team. They brought in Young, Red Sheep, Silvio, Danube and Clone number 1, and they have had the best season they've ever had. They're tied at the top of the leaderboard with the former world champions Raiden Racing. The top 6 go to Abu Dhabi, the top 4 get an advantage, so you don't want to drop out of those positions. These 2 matchups have 3 races each. 2 pilots will race each other from the teams, then the other 2 against each other. Then the DCL Big Heat, where all 8 will race at the same time, and all of those races can earn you 4 points for your team, 3 for second, 2 for third, 1 if you come in 4th, even in the DCL Big Heat. Then we'll tally the points from those 3 races in the matchup. The winning team will get 3 points to the season, 1 point if it's drawn. Nobody wants 0, particularly at this stage. And the track we're racing around is our new track in Vaduz in Liechtenstein, which you saw in race day 5. This is St. Florence Cathedral. It's from the 19th century. We could never tower dive it in real life, so of course we're going to do it virtually in DCL the game. You go around these buildings and head towards the most famous government building in drone racing. We've flown around that many times in real life. We go out of the car park, head over it again here before diving down around the back of the DCL stage. And then this triangular building, that's the Parliament of Liechtenstein. We'll corkscrew over it. Go through the block trade duo, over this rooftop and a hard left turn underneath the Gemfan banner, and then we duck under this bridge, do a little shift right and then a hard 180 left, another right turn and into the widest slalom you've ever seen, 5 gates, and then it's the start of the next lap. So let's send it to the skies, everybody. Raiden Racing against China Dragons. Visemayan and Matteo against Gabri and Creator Gamer. Raiden Racing near the top of the tree. They're the team in yellow. China Dragons trying to stay away from the bottom in orange. First turns around, but it sees Mayan just slightly ahead of the other 3, but all very close. 0.2 per second between everybody. Although no, Gabri slipping a little bit further away. Oh, that's a bad start for Gabri, and he's lost a lot of time on everybody else. Creator Gamer, the other pilot for China Dragons, in the fight between Mayan and Matteo. Here is his view from second place through the block trade duo. A little bit wobbly everywhere, Creator Gamer. If you fly like that, you just lose time a bit here and there, constantly throughout, and Mayan is getting away from Creator Gamer. As you see, he's over a second, clear of both of the China Dragons pilots right now, and Creator Gamer is having trouble again, getting on to start of lap number 2, and he's lost a chunk more time. Gabri was briefly ahead of Matteo, but Matteo solidly up into 3rd place, but nobody close to this man, Vincent Mayan, around the Foxear pair and then climbing up to the government building. No issues there. Look how smooth it is. Look at Creator Gamer though. It's all a bit wilder. Up and downs. A little bit of a left-right wiggle over the rooftop. Now he's a bit low in the second block trade gate of the duo. He's hit that square on and Matteo has passed him in the process. It's now 1-2 for Raiden Racing as we're coming up to the halfway point of this race. Creator Gamer, in fact, behind his teammate Gabri, but both of them are far behind this pilot Matteo and Vincent Mayan. Now, they might catch Matteo, but Vincent is away, and nobody would catch him unless he makes a mistake. There he is in the lead through the fox ear pair with no trouble at all. Matteo, though, has got a bit of danger for company, as Gabri is not too far behind him. Here's Matteo, just seeing Gabri, just across his vision, and again. Now through the courtyard and up and over the Parliament building, there's still Gabri in front of him through the duo. Oh, now there's a real race on for second and third. I don't think anybody's going to catch Mayan unless he makes a mistake. Oh, he does on the 4th gate of the slalom, and he's on the floor and he's recovered it fairly quickly, and he's still got nearly a 3-second lead over second place. Matteo down the St. Florence Cathedral dive, hanging on to second place. Mayan still ahead of him. Gabri still a danger behind Matteo. China Dragons could take the second place here, could steal that away from Matteo towards the end. At the moment, it's a 7 points to 3 situation with Raiden in first and second. At this point, a lap ago, Gabri was just swinging in front of Matteo, but he's not there right now, but he is only a tenth or two behind. This is Mayans, though, clear out in front of Vaduz, now going back to the slalom. The fourth gate was the one that tripped him just now, but not this time. It's 4 points for him for Raiden, and a photo finish for second.
Yeah!
Yes! Let's go!
Oh no!
Nice one, Mario.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Nice.
There was little doubt throughout who was going to be the winner. Vincent Mayan was in that first place for the whole race, but behind him it was so close at the end. 6 thousandths of a second between second and third place. Creator Gamer was in the fight early in the race, but had a couple of rough turns and lost some time in places like this in the block train crash. Gabri, though, never gave up chasing Matteo, and just 6 thousandths of a second they came in together. Now Valprim and IQ0 will take on Ion and Mojo. Valprim and IQ0, Mojo and Ion FPV. About a quarter of a second separating the 4 pilots at the moment. This is Mojo's view of everybody else, just slightly ahead of him. Very, very close. Now Mojo's the least experienced of these pilots. He's brand new to the DCL. We saw a little bit of Valprim last season before he joined Raiden Racing. He now moves to the front, IQ0 in second place with him, and then Ion and Mojo still only a tenth or 2 or 3 behind the pilots of Raiden. Take a look here as we go for this flip under the bridge. Yes, Valprim a little bit further over to the right than IQ0 was, taking different lines. And now down the slalom, you can see 3 drones close together. The fourth is Mojo, who is now 7 seconds behind, so he's come a cropper in his first lap, leaving it to Ion then to try and challenge this pairing of yellow drones at the front. China Dragons don't want to give away another 7 points to 3. Valprim. Then about 3 tenths of a second to IQ0, and Ion getting closer to challenging him through the Foxeer gates as well. IQ0, don't play it too safe, although Ion has lost another couple of tenths of a second, just slipped a little bit further behind. This might be one of those tracks which suits IQ0 in some places and Ion in others. Valprim seems pretty smooth out in front. 4 tenths of a second between IQ0 and Ion. IQ0 is not hanging around through the slalom, as you can see. A little bit underturning and then a little bit overcorrecting. But keeping that working out, and Ion isn't gaining on him as we move into lap number 3. There's the 2 drones from Raiden going up towards the government building. And then around and ducking under the hurdle behind and coming to the Foxeer pen. That's a nice move from Ion. He's gained a tenth, I think. A little bit quicker there, just on the crossway between one section and another. IQ0 is still threading this all very nicely. Valprim out in the lead, still pretty smooth. IQ0 still staying with him. Now they come to the slalom. We see there's a little bit more of a gap between the 2 pilots for Raiden. And Ion is dropping a little bit further behind. We're on to the final lap. There's not much chance of China Dragons doing anything about it unless Ion attacks them. This is looking like it might well be another 1-2 for Raiden Racing. And after China Dragons lost 21-9 last time, they really desperately need a win, but Raiden Racing are not looking like a team that they can beat. IQ0 still in second, still chasing Valprim as he has been for every lap so far. And Ion is 2 seconds behind and fading. Yes, it's surely a 1-2 for Raiden now as Valprim leads them down the slalom. IQ0 still trying to beat him to the end, but he won't get him.
Woo!
Sounds like IQ0 enjoyed that battle nevertheless. And as Mojo brings it home, it's a 1-2 for Raiden. Well done, Valprim. So here's Mojo early on, staying with everybody, but a lot of pressure on him as the newest pilot. And now Valprim just showing us how to get away. IQ0, all credit to him, staying with Valprim throughout. And only less than a quarter of a second between them at the finish. What about when everybody flies? Welcome to the DCL Big Heat. All 8 pilots in the air at the same time. China Dragons need a bit of a miracle if they're going to outscore Raiden. Here's Creator Gamer for them. Gabri just in front of him. Them currently in a 1-2. They need to make that stick. They need their teammates to help score more points as well. They're in a 1-2-3, although Vincent Mayan just slips past Ion into third. They need first, second and third to tie this matchup, and they don't want to tie, and Gabri isn't going to help them with a crash like that. He recovers it, but he's down in 7th. Mojo is behind him, but look at Creator Gamer pushing for the lead, dropping on the inside of Visser Mayan, and he's got the lead, but Mayan has it back, and Creator Gamer has lost over a second. Oh, he's crashed after that brilliant overtake under the bridge. Mayan crashed as well, so he's dropped out of the lead. It's back to IQ0 and Valprim in 1st and 2nd. Matteo now moves up past Creator Gamer and is into 3rd. Oh, it's Raiden back in the commanding position of this. Here's Valprim chasing IQ0. We saw a lot of it the other way round just now. Let's see what Valprim does when the chase is in his hands. Over the building, through block trade as IQ0 is doing. Valprim has gained on him slightly. IQ0 now attacking the slalom. Coming into that with a decent amount of time over Valprim. This pilot here, 0.8 of a second behind IQ0 and not slow as we reach the halfway point. And he goes for the St. Florence Cathedral dive. Valprim's lost a little bit of time on IQ0. Matteo has lost 3rd place. Creator Gamer is up past him. But it's not going to be enough for China Dragons. Valprim and IQ0 battling between themselves again in 1st and 2nd. Here's the turn around the back of the stage where we had our real-life racing in previous years. We've raced here 3 times in the past in the beautiful capital of Liechtenstein. Valprim now leads IQ0 in the middle of that lap, just switching places, so the chase is on, but look, they're so close, less than 1/10 of a second between them. On to lap number 4. IQ0 pushes past Valprim. Oh, so close. Barely anything there. 100th or so of a second between 2 brilliant pilots for Raiden, but now Valprim starts to stretch. IQ0, oh, you can imagine the tension between these pilots wanting to beat each other, but IQ0 has lost half a second on Valprim, just a little bit slower over the rooftops, and here's Valprim showing how smoothly he's got Verdutz dialed in. He'll swing it now under the bridge. The last left-hand turn there before the slalom. And IQ0 is almost a second behind him. Now he can see in front of him. It's Valprim getting another win. IQ0 2nd. And Creator Gamer is 3rd.
Oh no.
And realises how far behind the rest of his pilots are.
Yeah, sorry guys.
That's okay.
Valprim wins the big heat as well as the race just now. IQ0 following him around in the lead for some of it. It was Valprim who was in the lead at the end. The charge from China Dragons, well, it was all close together early on lap number 1 and it was over by the end of lap number 1. Creator Gamer doing everything he could, but the rest of the pilots for China Dragons just couldn't keep up. Valprim and IQ are 1-2 again, and Creator Gamer came in 4.5 seconds behind them. So congratulations to Raiden Racing with a very dominant performance over China Dragons. They beat them 22 points to 8, which gives Raiden a really good chance of being top of our leaderboard. Let's see what happens when the team who are there race. Cyclone Racing against our current leaders, Spain Drone Team. Yayu and J-Box against Silvio and Red Sheep. So SDT were tied with Raiden on match points, but had scored 2 more points in races than them, which is why they were top of the leaderboard. They have never been in that position. STT have never been top of our leaderboard, and they've been so dominant this season so far. Cyclone Racing, though, they have been showing how quick they are too. So let's see. Silvio chasing Yayu over the government building to try and get the lead. Oh no, Silvio hits the gate on the drop. That's not a bad recovery, but in front of him now it's not just Yayu, it's J-Box as well. Cyclone moving past both of the pilots for SDT. Surely this race isn't as good as over already on lap number 1 between Cyclone and SDT. I expected this to be a much closer contest. Yayu has been very dominant on races here and throughout Split 1 so far. J-Box has been flying very strongly too, much like the J-Box who originally started so quickly for Cyclone at the beginning of 2023. There's just over half a second between the 2 pilots of Cyclone, and then there are many seconds before anybody in green gets anywhere near them. Oh, but J-Box! That's the same dive and the same gate which cost Silvio earlier on. That's when J-Box got past him. Silvio is too far behind at the moment in order to get back past J-Box from that crash, though. Yeah, and J-Box just a little bit twitchier. It's not quite as smooth. It's nice and quick through most of those gates, but not brilliant getting into them. He's still about 3 seconds behind the leader, Yayu, and about 3 seconds ahead of Silvio for STT. And Silvio, the captain of Spain drone teams, really come alive in recent seasons and been so important for Spain drone team. Red Sheep, the brilliant new pilot, the youngest we've ever had in the DCL. He's just 8 years of age. He's been great as well, making his debut for the team, but he is a long way behind at the moment. Yayu leads out under the bridge on lap number 3. And then swings and threads it into the slalom. He's really good here. J-Box, this is tidier. Oh no, this is much smoother from J-Box. That's much better. Just getting back into the rhythm of this track, I think. And now coming up to the St. Florence Cathedral. Silvio is a little bit closer to him than he was, but nowhere near enough. There's still a large amount of time between second and third. J-Box over the roof, very close to the government building. That's a nice turn into the Foxier pair. He goes away from that with Silvio ever closer to him. J-Bot's a little bit slower where he got caught out earlier, maybe just taking that a little bit safer. Not a bad idea, but Silvio is right with him and past him. It's Yayu clear out in front, but Silvio will be the next one you see into the slalom. There he is, just entering it, 8 seconds ahead of him. It's Yayu getting the 4 points. J-Box on the chase, but it'll be Silvio who gets second, then J-Box. And Red Sheep is bringing it home for the team. It's going to be 6 points to 4. Congratulations, Yayu getting that win, and it was 7 points for so long. But what happened to J-Box? Silvio just never gave up. Crashed early in the race, which sent him a long way back. J-Box, same spot a lap later. Yayu, no mistakes were made. The Ice Cheetah and Neon for Cyclone Racing against Danube and Clone number 1. 6 points to 4. After that, first and third came in against the second and fourth place. St. Florence Cathedral dive. Danube and Clone number 1 moves past Neon. Then the Ice Cheetah is in fourth at the moment. Swinging around the back of the government building, Neon between the two pilots for SDT. Coming up is this dive, which is a tricky turn. They're all okay through there. Danube just a little bit slower on the exit. Neon challenging now. He's got past Clone number 1 and he's right with Danube and passes him. But Danube is just hanging on. Now we'll go under the bridge. Danube on the outside. Now on the inside of the left-hand turn and keeps the lead. That was a good choice of line from him, and Neon has got Clone number 1 for close company, and the Ice Cheetah is still within 3/4 of a second of all of the action. That's a good first lap for everybody. Now Neon in a real chase, less than 1/10 of a second behind Danube. Coming to the rooftops, up and over we go. Clone number 1 still in there, and the Ice Cheetah as well. This is so much better than the races we've seen, where the pilots have got a little bit cut apart on the first lap. That was a brave move by Neon and the Ice Cheetah. They went very direct towards that gate where we had some crashes. Neon's got second still and just a little bit behind Danube, and the Ice Cheetah was briefly up in the third, but he's lost a load of time. Oh, it was a big attack from him, but I think it's cost him. Don't count him out though. Neon is higher and a little bit later turning, yes. Had to do a much sharper turn to start lap number 3. Still only 1/4 of a second between him and Danube, and here's the chase from his view. Swinging around the pylons, big sharp left hand now to go around the back of the building. Then to climb over the rooftop and back down again. Before you go through the Foxier pair, there's all 4 drones in the car park at the same time. It's still Danube out in front. Neon's just lost 1/10 or 2 on him. But there's the chase now across the courtyard. Over the rooftops, nice corkscrewing from both pilots. Neon and Danube through the pair of the block tray gates without any issues. Now to duck under the bridge, and it's still Danube out in front and Neon chasing him, and we're just coming up to the end of lap number 3. 1 more lap to go. We've got a battle on for first and second and a separate battle for third and fourth. Everybody's still in the fight here. Neon turns nicely, drops out of the dive. He's now 1/10 of a second behind Danube. He's a little closer than he was a lap ago. They take 2 different routes up and over, and Danube stretches a little bit further away. You can see green and purple battles going on, but the Ice Cheetah has missed the car park entry. He has dropped out of that battle for third. We'll go back to Neon, still battling for first. Tight flying as they go around that Gemfan corner under the bridge. Danube still out in front of him. Then it's Neon, and there's a bigger gap between them now as they go down the slalom, and it is Danube earning that win. Neon will have to settle for second.
Vamos.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. My bad.
The Ice Cheetah apologising to his Cyclone teammates for that crash he had on the 4th lap, but it was so close throughout with all the pilots in contention. Danube had the better of Neon throughout the whole race. Neon was chasing him constantly, Really good pursuit from Neon. And a good pursuit from the Ice Cheetah too. Take a look at the left gate in the car park. This is the one he hits. And that's where his pursuit ended. Clone number 1 got third. Danube held off Neon. Great race. The big heat now. This could be full of action as well. All 8 pilots to battle. And it's 10 points all. 6-4 with Yayu winning the first heat. 6-4 with Danube winning the one we just saw. Look at Verdurt's lighting up in purple and green as Cyclone and Spain Drone team attack this track. Yayu and Danube are the ones in first and second, the winners of the last 2 races. The Ice Cheetah, better run for him so far, he's up in third. Then it's getting stripy as the teams are in alternate positions all the way from first to 8th. Yayu in the lead, coming through block trade, too high for the second gate, yes he's hit it, he's in the building, on the right it's Silvio, passing everybody. The Ice Cheetah trying to hold him off under the bridge and Silvio's crashed and gone backwards. Yayu has recovered to the front, clone number 1 hits the entrance to the slalom and drops from 4th to 6th. It's chaos around the start of lap number 2. Are we ready for some more? Here we go. Danube starts it in the lead. Then the Ice Cheetah and Yayu swings in between the pair of them up into second place. J-Box is in 4th and the rest of the SDT pilots behind them led by Red Sheep. Out of the car park, Yayu turns earlier, climbs earlier, goes to the rooftop, beats Danube to the top. Danube beats him to the bottom. Danube in the lead. Yayu passes him now over the corkscrew and through block trade, and the lead switches back and forth between them. Now there's the bridge. Then the left-hand turn, and we go back to the slalom. Yayu and Danube, quarter of a second between the pair of them, and the Ice Cheetah a quarter of a second behind them in third. Then we start to get a bit of a gap, and clone number 1 has fought his way back up into 4th, and Red Sheep is flying well in 5th, and then it's the rest of Cyclone behind them. The action's been crazy, the racing's been so fast, we've still got half this race to go. Yayu and Danube and the Ice Cheetah into the car park at the same time and out through the Foxeer gates. Yayu up and over the top, Danube following him down. They were much closer a lap ago. Yayu is starting to stretch away and starting to dial it in, but Danube hasn't given up the chase, obviously. Look at him go now, and yet he is almost a second behind Yayu. Now back into the slalom for the 3rd time, and yes, you can see it's starting to open up. 1 more lap to go. Can Danube catch Yayu? He's the only pilot who seems able to keep with him. Out of the dive. This is starting to get a little bit rougher for Danube. That's straight across. That's not a usual curve. Oh, he was trying something different to cut the corner, and it has ruined everything for him. Clone number 1's past him at the second. And unless Yayu makes a great big mistake, he's surely got the win sewn up now. With that, clone number 1 and Danube second and third. Then J-Box, and the only ones who are behind him are other Cyclone pilots. This is looking like a 1st and 4th place for Cyclone, a 2nd and 3rd for SDT. That's 5 points all. That would draw this series. That's an outcome neither team wanted. Yayu's done everything he can.
I don't think I got it. I don't got it.
The Ice Cheetah can't catch the 2 pilots from SDT.
Vamos.
Wow. What a battle that big heat was. Yayu wins it out, but he didn't have it all his own way. Danube and Silvio were both very strong at chasing him at times. Oh, so much action in there. Danube's final push just didn't go right for him around that building. Fortunately for SDT, the only pilot who caught him was clone number 1. And not Cyclone taking another position. It's a draw. Pretty rare in the DCL, but it feels like the right outcome after both those teams gave as good as each other. Unfortunately, though, neither team will be happy with that, as they're only going to get 1 point on the important leaderboard. The wildcard team had a bye week. The only other matchup on race day 6 was Quad Force 1 and a big win over Mac 1. What does all this mean for our standings? Well, Raiden take the top spot from SDT after their draw. Gives Raiden a little bit of an advantage. Quad Force 1's win puts them up to 4th, and we have 1 more race day before our Split 1 finals at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi, so this is for seeding positions now. Who will be the number 1 seed out of Raiden and SDT? Find out next time. I'm Matt Andrews, we're the DCL, and we'll see you in the skies.